Yeah, welcome everybody to the World of Ability Podcast Network. My name is Emily Gomer and am a podcast engineer here, and excited to bring you another episode of the Mastery of Connections with our own MC Holmes, our Alan Holmes, our Master Connector, as we affectionately like to call him, um, in California. Uh, every show every Wednesday here at 8 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Central. I'd love to have you come on as a guest. So let us know if you are interested. The show's kind of all about meeting people, making connections, networking, and so on. As Alan says, it's not about me, it's about we. But with nothing further ado, I'm going to bring in Alan to kick us off here today and introduce our guest. Welcome. Alan.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. Welcome to the Word Ability Podcast. Also, in with MC Holmes, the Master of Connections. What amazing young lady. Thank you so much, Emily. In today's episode, and today's guest is going to be a very distinguished gentleman who we're all, I guess, are distinguished. We all love them. Now, with that said, he resides the same name, Alan. No, spelled the same. He's with OLTCI, Alan Gatlin. I'm going to let him come on in and tell you what that stands for and what he does. But it is an honor and privilege to have him today. He's a proud veteran and a great entrepreneur and business consultant. Now, Miss Allen, welcome to the Massive Connections. Thank you for taking time of your video schedule to make it. It's all about you today, sir. LTCI. I have to go back. I feel like I'm back in the military again, getting I got to make sure I get my orders correctly. Thank you so much, sir. The acronyms connect. Welcome to the Massive Connections. Tell us a little bit about who you are, how you got started, and what is OLTCI Business Academy.
All right, Al, I'll start with my background first. I have over 30 years of sales, both domestic US and international, in technology. I've traveled over 60 countries, calculated the other day, visited every major airport in the US during my career. Spent 2 years in the south of France working in the EU, again, for a technology company. And toward the end of my career, I ended up, at least a working career there, I ended up being placed within companies to help them improve their profitability, address organizational issues, resolve conflicts. And in 2019, I had enough with travel, had some health issues really directly related to travel, and have been doing, since 2019, have had my own organization. The OLTCI is Online Technical Consulting and Instruction. I still own that domain today. I've had it for over 20 years. So what I do is I work with the people, I work with numbers, and I work with processes for improvement.
Wow. Okay. Now I'm curious. We're all curious for those listening in the listening audience. Tell us a little bit without giving away the secret sauce and everything. How does one go about? Is it small to medium sized business, corporations? You focus on solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, or you open as solopreneur entrepreneurs? But tell us. Let's start with your target audience.
My target market is businesses with revenues from 3 to 10 million. I work individual projects for businesses that are 10 to 100 million. I do charitable work and help solopreneurs and entrepreneurs get started, referring them, giving them some help, referring them to the Small Business Administration and other resources within their community to help them get going. Uh, I'm not going to charge a solopreneur or a entrepreneur that's that small my normal fee. I don't feel good about it unless I can help someone, because I have a policy that if I can't get them a 200% return on my fee within 90 days, then it's free. So
Wow.
that's why I work with businesses from 3 to 10 million is usually the sweet spot, or project based above 10 million in revenues.
Wow, that is honorable. And now I heard through the grapevine, a little birdie told me that you have a book.
I do.
Speaking of resource, and can you share with the lesson audience?
It's always a little hard to see, but it's on Amazon under my name. It's Coaching Champions. It's from my 30 years of sales management, and executive management, how to really coach successful people, particularly within sales, rather than managing them, which is a completely different philosophy. And it's about building the individual to help that individual reach their potential rather than just driving them for numbers.
Wow, now that's really interesting because a lot of times in my career, in many careers, those who are listening, when someone is just kind of nagged and kind of not respected in their self-esteem or not uh, appreciated, uh, is that something that your coaching, your process goes into, or I don't want to speak, how does that work a
It
little bit?
is, it is. But you just like individuals have a personality, companies have a personality, and it's often a reflection of the leadership. Now, there are those, especially technology companies, that are dysfunctional, is the nice way of saying it, that they're borderline abusive with their people, especially in the sales process. So this is really about helping a company change its culture and become more supportive of its people while still meeting its mission goals. You can do both. It isn't one or the other. You don't have to beat people to death for them to produce. What you do is you lead them to produce in a way that is supportive as well as, again, reaching the goals of the business.
Wow. Now that leads me to a question, and there is a method to my madness of asking this question
Of
is
course.
when it comes to customer service, there
Yes.
is so many times in anybody know me, I call myself a human surgeon, I human AI. There's so many different scenarios, and we could be here probably till next couple of
Yes.
events when it comes to what people think about AI and should they use it? Should they not? Is it going to replace it? You know, sales forces are looking over their shoulder if they're going to be replaced. How do you calm the storm, so to speak, and using your and thank you for your service. I know your U.S. Army is as
Mhm.
well. Other than the same name, we know we're on the we're kind of same plane or parallel.
Yes.
How do you calm the storm when someone is just overwhelmed with these projects, especially within these tech companies and customer service?
Well, the whole thing has to become about meeting needs. When you meet the need of the customer and you take care of the customer takes care of you. And that is reflected throughout the organization. One of the problems that I see all too often is that, especially in the higher ranks within a company or outside of those that are directly customer facing, they forget who's paying the bill, and that's the customer. Now, I believe in using every tool in the toolkit as long as it's used appropriately. AI can be a huge benefit, but it is not a be all and end all. It's just one tool in the toolkit. So you've got to be careful on what we call the bright, shiny syndrome. Oh, let's make everything AI. Oh, let's make everything this or that. No, it's you use it appropriately, like especially for technology companies, in doing a problem solving matrix for support. AI can be a fabulous tool. However, at some point, the human touch is needed. And there are often interpretive matters that are more than just the technology involved. The interaction between automation, AI, and the individual support person, I think they need to run parallel. They need to cooperate together to again meet the customer's need. If you meet the customer's need, you pay your bills.
Wow, I like that because just this past weekend I had experience with the tech company, and I was actually communicating through chat. And let's just say the last end of their name within the domain name
Yes.
is EAP,
Yeah.
and I was on there for almost from 7 a.m. to really about 3 p.m. Pacific. I was literally a full day.
Excuse me.
Now the good part of it is I must add on to they solved my problem
Good.
because at the end of the part of the fourth hour, I was very ready to kind of share with the world why not to go, but they turned me around, and I can honorably say I put it on Trustpilot that if nothing else, they honored what they did, and it helped reflect on a project I'm doing within a magazine that Emily and Kurt is part of, and it was because of them that solving that problem. So just kudos to them, and thank you for answering the question about the
But,
customer
but,
service.
but Alan, I think they could have likely solved it quicker if they had been more efficient with the human component.
Ah, there it is. The human component, the human search engine. You hear that? You know who you are. We want to keep things positive and life lovely, but from an Allen to another Allen, that's how we do it. The massive connection. So, love it, love it. Great. Now, let's dive back a little bit and say, now, Alan, without going again too pride because into it, because I know that you served and there's some, let's just say, personal as well as other leadership qualities that you have that must keep within the realms of confidentiality. And we
Right.
both know what that means in the military. But when you were, couldn't you a little bit where you reside and without again personal and private information, but
Right.
how's the community that you live in and what drove you from here? I'm in California and it's just a amazing, balmy, 48 degrees. How was your weekend? How was everything? You know, how's life? Is your family okay? Just checking in, one soldier, another, because we do what they do at the World of Ability call check in, because
That's right.
that's what makes us different here, Master. We want to check in, make sure your family's okay, and
Right.
your life, you okay?
I am. Yep. I spent 22 years in California in North County, San Diego. My
Oh,
wife,
wow.
my wife managed family housing on Camp Pendleton, and as long as I was near an airport, it really didn't matter where I resided. Currently, the last 4 years, I'm in San Antonio, Texas. Still have a tremendous amount of interaction with the military and with working with veterans that are establishing their business. And it's nice, to be able to continue that, even though I'm not actively serving. I still have the engagement with those personnel and other government agencies that are based here in Texas.
Well, God bless Texas. We know that it's California. Texas always had that the East Coast and West Coast love. There's
Mhm.
been challenges at time, but overall, we
Yes.
love and honor and respect each other. The greatest country in the world.
Yeah.
We honor that. Thank you so much for sacrificing service. Let me ask you, Alan, another question regarding the next steps. People in the organization, do you work with nonprofits, for example? We
I
have the
do.
World of Disability. Yeah.
I do. A lot of that is on a sliding scale basis. I have a proprietary software package to do an assessment of the organization, and that's free to do an assessment. After the assessment, if I feel that I can help them, I will certainly engage with them on often a sliding scale basis or help to find a grant or other financial support to help them pay for me. The biggest thing is resources. Most not for profits end up resource constrained, either money, either people. And a lot of that is unnecessary because they're not, if they had done a better job communicating their mission. Money is rarely a problem when you are able, if you're doing good work and you're able to articulate that good work, that will draw the right people in. But again, too, you have to be out there promoting and engaging with people. I'm actively belong to a BNI group, Business Networking International. This is not a promotion for them. It's just one networking group. I'm on Alignable. I've got 25,000 first level connections on LinkedIn. and that I've built over the years. So the idea is you're constantly meeting, you're constantly understanding, and constantly referring to those or using those other resources that are out there. The more you give, the more you get.
Zig Ziglar, helping up people, get what you
Yep.
want, you'll receive what you want. And I'm paraphrasing, but and see, this is what happens, ladies and gentlemen. I must pause for a second. The When you get the massive connection, the Allen, two Allens together, we could not have scripted this anymore because, like yourself, Alan, 25,000 on LinkedIn. I'm here and I'm honored, sir. I'm still climbing up there, still learning, but which you um, will be part of the Massive Connection LinkedIn group if you so choose to. And there's
Yes.
a round table that Mr. Kurt is floating around somewhere in Wisconsin, and the part is knows about. It's a round table that speaks to the whole heart of nonprofits. So
Yeah.
maybe somewhere down the near future, Mr. Alan Gatlin, with the UCLI
OL.
I'm sorry,
OL.
OLTCI. See,
Yes.
correct, ladies and gentlemen. We do this off the cuff, so OLTCI Business
Business.
Academy can learn
Yeah.
about. So let's ask you the next step. How does somebody get a hold of you, and what is the best next step to just take everything we've been going over and you've been going over um, in your moment here with the Massive Connection,
Yeah.
OLTCI? What is
Yeah.
the next step, or how does a website, a phone number?
There
We
is.
know you got a book.
It's oltcibusinessacademy.com.
Okay.
My email address is agatlin, AGATLIN, at oltcibusinessacademy.com.
Okay.
My telephone number is area code 619 214 9987. And I do a free 45-minute assessment and discussion. Because again, if I can't help you, let me see if I can find a resource that can. And
Wow.
my clients usually stay around 2 to 3 years. They either sell the business or something else happens. But I only engage 6 clients at a time, so that I can give a high quality service to them. I do some individual consulting. I teach for a couple of other groups and universities. I just finished a entrepreneurship for an MBA program for a university, and I'm teaching how to write a business plan right now for another group. So the idea is I have to keep sharp. I have to keep pushing. There's no sitting back on your laurels and without pushing forward to gain that additional information that people need.
Wow. I call myself a master connector, but ladies and gentlemen, yeah, Alan Gatton with OLTCI. Yes, I did a PSN. And that was an instant transfer of recognition. He is a super connector. All right? That's what I'm aspiring to be. The very fact that you just said what you said, even if you can't help them, you deal with, and I'm going to see if I've been paying attention, people, number of people, and processes. Is
Yep.
that a specific order that have to be, or they'll just wow, that is so amazing that you're doing it. So just to let you know that we're at the Massive Connection, the World of Abilities, Jay Storian of the Disability Channel, where we're residing here, it's been an honor and privilege. And every time I come and have a Massive Connection, I meet someone different, organization, the group. We've had so many in the past. We're going to be placing Mr. Gatlin and information on the World of Ability podcast, and as well as the LinkedIn group that we have.
Yes.
We're going to be sharing it. But let's just close with the closing. Any closing remarks? I'm going to check within the Emily Goldman, the podcast boss, or Kurt, who floats around every once in a while around this World of Abilities. Kurt, are you out there somewhere? If you have any questions, we have an expert. OLTCI Business Academy, right here on the Massive Connections. If you have it, if Kurt is not, sometimes he has other projects that he's working on with Massive Connection. We're always doing different resources. Emily, I don't see Kurt. Emily, we're calling all Emily's. calling all Emily's, the boss, the legend. See, I keep talking long enough to appear. Oh, there she is. See, I thought she fell asleep at the wheel. No, not getting. Without this show, we couldn't do the show without Emily. She is a legend. Emily, do you have any further questions for Mr. Gatlin before is Kurt around? Does he have any questions or for the because ladies and gentlemen, we don't have we have experts all the time at Massive Connection, but this one is really a gem.
I do have one comment to make. You know,
Yes.
there's a misperception now with the, let's just say, the confusion that's going on in the government. Is that a nice way of saying it? But there are still huge numbers of grants that are available, particularly to nonprofits, but also to women-owned businesses, to minority-owned businesses, to veterans, especially if they're 8A certified. Money and resources are available. And just because, you know, there's a lot of publicity right now, particularly about cutting within the government, many resources from both within the government and private organizations are still available. So if you are looking for funding for your project or to get started or to grow your project, don't discount those sources.
Wow. See, ladies, again, we don't script anything just for a specific reason because this is why the Massive Connections is here, is to give you resources that are available. The largest resource, we're creating the largest network within a series of networks and symbols when I normally, as a master connector, but MC Holmes through the Massive Connections and Jay Story. And thank you so much, Alan, for being here and for being a part of this. Emily, any other final questions or thoughts or questions for Mr. Allen before we say adieu? And where else can we? Oh yeah, where else can we see the Massive Connections and OLTCI Business Academy overview?
Well, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, things like that. I might have sort of touched on this, but like, what's your favorite thing about like what you do?
It's the variety and the challenges of dealing with people, because most business organization issues really come down to people problems. And as you resolve and help people work through those problems, you resolve a number of issues. So I just like meeting a variety of people from all over, particularly from all over the world.
Awesome.
That's great. Emily, do you have any other questions, or do you want to go ahead and wrap up? And
is there any other questions at the moment? But yeah, and thank Alan for coming on here today.
Thank you.
And you're welcome back anytime. And so again, we are here every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Central. And there's a way to reach out to us if you're interested in being on as a guest with us. If you have any questions or comments, you can call or text me at 608-886-9801. Also encourage everybody to check out YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and so on. And check out all of our other people that we're working with, like J-Star and the Disability Channel, Marcus Art of Transform You, Zach Clayton of the Pack Channel, Lawrence Wingate of Wingate Studios, and Lambs of the Midwest Business Podcast. Great work that they do, but I think Hi, Kurt. We were just sort of ending, but do you have any comments, questions, anything for Alan Squared here?
All right. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I just came off from a very exciting meeting, and so things are really moving here at the World of Ability Podcast Network. We're always appreciating the work of our MC Holmes here, and boy, we got Alan squared here to get today, so this is cool. Two Alans, I love it. I got an extra dose of Alan today. So we love our guests here. So Alan Gatlin, thank you for everything you do to help us to have today's February 12th, 2025 episode. And Emily, everything that you're doing to keep these shows rolling and going and available out there to our viewing and listening audiences. I have an exciting announcement, folks. We have a huge collective development that is just amassing to an exciting 6 months ahead. And it all starts with our friend Zach Clayton with Community Pay It Forward, a devotion in 10 days to our veterans. Zach Clayton, deep in his heart and his belly and on his mind all the time, that our veterans in the United States of America deserve better. And we're going to respond. You know, Zach says, if you're not helping someone, you are hurting everyone. So we're going to come in this notion of we're here to help. We have something to offer, and we're going to put it in the direction of our veterans. And Zach is doing a 22-hour devotion program. It's going to be all vets all throughout every minute of the 22-hour live stream with Community Pay It Forward. He's got a program called All Come Together Act. And, you know, we co-created with the World Ability Podcast Network Pact podcast for all coming together. And in that fashion, this 22-hour veteran program on February 22nd. So that's 22 hours of a Saturday saying, hey, veterans out there, you do matter. And we are responding. And we are also going to have a 24-hour program on Saturday, March 29th. And a couple weeks prior to that, we're going to have Mutual Aid Network is having a Solidarity Summit. And within there, we're going to have some opportunities to have the participants, you know, share a little bit of what they might be able to do in all these veterans initiatives. We have People for a New America with Richie Honori, world-class drummer, multi-pronged talent. So a drummer, world-class drummer, and also does guitar and vocals. And he's heading this up as the Solution Revolution. We've done the birth of a movement here, folks. So hop on the train. The train is moving fast. We have Jay Stoyan coming in to be our Jerry Lewis telethon personality for our 24-hour telethon on March 29th. And again, everything that we do here is going to be for resources for our veterans, like, say, hand our veterans a gift card and say, here, thank you for what you have done for our country and our community and what you have for us in your life. Go buy what you need. We want to make sure you're taken care of. Here's a gift card. So we're going to be doing those types of fundraising initiatives, and we're going to be getting videos out there of a program that goes along with the birth of the movement here. And it's just ever so exciting. So from there, Alan, and Emily, you'll have to tell me where what I just said ties in or steer me into anything else I can comment on. But that's the station identification announcement that I have for you today.
And what a station identification. I must say, you know how we do it, Mr. Kurt. I want to end, as we close out here, I want to again thanking Alan Square. Alan, we call him, if anybody knows in the service, there's ranking and pecking order. And I must salute my second lieutenant in the prayers for thank you for being honorably and sacrificing this great country and what you've gone through and the sacrifice for so much. And thank you for your service and your sacrifice, sir, from one veteran to another. Thank you. And that leads into to answer your question, Kurt. I had the honor and privilege meeting Zach so many years ago. It feels like a lifetime. I had the honor and privilege of being part of the 22-hour telethon, a piece of the day. And I want to echo Kurt say I don't get too serious often, but when it comes to veteran suicide, that is something that it cannot accept. Kurt knows, and we all know that we're sending prayers and continue sending prayers to Zach and his incredible family member that's no longer with us. He will not be forgotten. It is a situation that didn't have to happen, but we go through another. That's a thing for another day. Zach, we love you, we honor you, and we're here to be, as they say in the Marines, we got your six. We will be there 22nd of February to support it, and it's just a perfect timing to have the Alan Gatton, who's also part of the family. You're welcome. You're a family member now. The Massive Connection, Mr. Allen.
Thank you.
So thank you for being part of this, and thank you, Kurt. Emily, it's not a coincidence. I'm a Leo. I don't believe in coincidences. It was actually literally almost a year ago, in 2 days from now, that I was asked to stop talking and start turning into Master Connected MC Homes. Did this happen? And I miss greatly a gentleman named Miss Allison, rest his soul. I've learned about. He was a veteran as well, and he actually paid it forward for a project that Kurt and I are both talking about. Check with the Kurt and Emily. They know it has island on the end of it, and there's kids and all kind of hint protecting the children that's coming up soon with the reality show. But it was a year ago when that happened, and it's fast forward, and I miss him so much. But I know he's looking down, and he's the one that actually helped put this show. I can hear it. I'm not a religious person. I'm a spiritual person, and I believe that each one of us have a gift. And I, through Kurt's and name nagging, no kidding, just got me to do this thing called Massive Connection now, and I've loved every minute continuous. So Alan, number one in this place, has been on the birth of a pioneering revolution. You have no idea that Kurt and Emily, what they're about to do and change the world, and you, sir, has helped ignite with the next event that's coming up throughout the various different days, weeks, and months, starting with 22 of February, Zach Clayton Community Pay It Forward. Thank you, Joy Historian. You're somewhere out there. Bless you. I love you, brother. You allow me to be a part of this so much. So thank you, Emily. Take us home. You're the boss, the legend, the incredible Emily Gomes. You have a show later on in the call, though. World of Abilities later? No? Yes?
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead. You want to, see, Emily doesn't plug yourself so much. Emily, where else can we see Alan and the rest of the wonderful Massive Connection?
So we're on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. Yeah, I show up at other places too, but so again, thank Alan for joining us today and everybody who's tuned in. And it's until next time, I hope everybody has a safe and productive weekend to stay happy.
All right. Thank you.